Okay, let's see if we can do this real quick. All right. Okay. Just leave these glasses on. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. Going to knock stuff off here. Okay, this was the Color Me Gone. Airbrushed it last night. Late for me. It was about, I airbrushed it at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Normally I like to do all this stuff but before 1 at least. I don't know how good that's going to turn out, but that was silver, and then I sprayed purple candy over that, and that's turning out pretty nice. Very pretty. When Tammy sees it, she hasn't even seen that one yet. And RATMAN, I started color sanding it a minute ago, and let's see if I can color sanding it a minute ago, and thought, well, maybe I should go live before I do that. See, got the driver's door there, nice and dull, but that's how RATMAN's turning out. That's a 68 Chevelle. There's some customizing parts, the nose, for the nose and the taillight panels. And I do want to do the roll bar, put a roll bar in it. Here's the interior for it. It's root beer. Did it the other day when I did, when I airbrushed the root beer candy around the edges of that, the panel paint. I went ahead and I did the interior too so it would match. Wanted it nice and shiny. And then the roll bar in there, I think that should be orange to really set that up. I'm not sure I even want to use these or not. They're like a valance panel, a rear valance and a customized front. It might look neat on there, but I like the chrome front end on these, and the reason why is I had my first car was a 68 El Camino, so I really like the 68 and 69 front end. So I don't think I want to fool around with what's already perfection, because I don't see any point in that. And then this, last but not least, is my wrecker. See if I can. Okay. I don't know if you can see it very well or not. This camera is not good, but it's the only one that works with this many extension cords on it. So that's what I'll have to go with. But I mixed a batch of the ever elusive black cherry. Okay, it's got something, cat hair or something hanging from it. First of all, I started with the Peterbuilt wrecker, and I don't even see its box in here. I don't know what I've done with it now, but I don't see it. But that's that big rig wrecker. And I got rid of the cab, switched it over to the 55 Ford. That's 53 through 55 Ford cab. I switched it over to that, and I had to shorten the frame by about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, something like that. And I don't remember. I just used the width of a piece of tape, and then I added another half a piece of tape. See if I can get in here. Okay. But it's a big wrecker with nice chrome wheels, a lot of chrome. And it's such a dark color that it's going to be very tough to see. I kind of knew that already. In fact, I had to cut the hood off just a minute ago. And in cutting the hood, I couldn't see where the gap was. That's using my magnifying glasses. I used this light and I tried to get in there the best I could. And it was a real bear. But I think I got it. I got the hood cut off, and I think it's going to be really tough for the camera to even pick this one up. But I mixed the Blackberry Candy for the tops of everything. And then I wanted it to blend down into a candy cobalt blue in the bottom. So I don't know how much that can pick up, but it's a really neat looking fade blend, and the colors are just out of this world. Now this, whoa, what was that? I heard something else fall, and I got it all. I didn't, there we go. Maybe just use the cab before it ends up. The hood, once I cut it off, it bounced up, and somehow it hit the floor and went back behind the table, and there's no way I can move this table anymore. So yeah, getting the hood back a minute ago was pretty tough, and I thought I better go live while I still have it, and it's still here. Then there ended up being a lot of yeah, that turned out pretty neat. Yeah, I don't know how good this camera is going to pick up any of this color, but it was the color I was toying around with when I did the under 1,000 subs group build paint job the other day. And it turned out all different. There was like 6 different shades, and I only mixed it once. And it wouldn't spray through that tiny Badger, a double action airbrush. It wouldn't paint out of it at all. Let's see if I can get there. It wouldn't paint out of it at all because I was using different kinds of candies, brands. I was using House of Kolor, and also this new Rev Tech or whatever, something tech. I'll never get used to it, and it doesn't spray by itself. I bought a little bottle of it, a teal to be able to do some candy for Tammy candy, and I didn't buy any of the things to mix with it because I didn't realize that there was. I saw that it was water-based, and I thought, well, there you go. You just thin it with water. No. The thing all fish-eyed, it did terrible things. It looked like it was fish-eye, and it wouldn't lay down. It was all balled up. Same thing with this stuff here. The Candy Brandy Wine is that same brand, and when I mixed it with my purple House of Kolors, it just did terrible things. I sprayed it on there and just all balled up. It didn't want to lay smooth or anything. Then I hit the clear on it and it laid it down. So I don't know how it did that, but it did. It laid the candy underneath the clear, laid it down then really nice over that big metallic silver. I don't know how dusty. It looks pretty dusty to me. But that's it so far. I had to cut the area for those fenders, those big beefy fenders to go out the sides. And I like that fade. I like that blend. This is going to be what I wanted it to be, is that my camel towing, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how I want to go about this. I don't like the colors. I don't like the yellow of the camel towing. Um, sign. My picture that I painted that about 4 years, 5. Well, no. So me and Tammy have been married going on 7 years. So it was almost 7 years ago that I painted the camel towing. And yeah, see those colors go really nice together. So I've had that painting a long time. And let's see if I can get this guy back for a couple seconds here. But I had that camel towing picture painted years and years ago. And I've built so many records since then, 3, something like that. And I've never used it as my signage on the records. And this one I wanted to, and I wanted to come up with it. I let this model set. I didn't have any of the cab done yet. I had the bed done, and I had it ready to. I had it in silver already, so I had it ready for the color to go on it. But I didn't know the colors. I wanted to really match. That the signage, the yellows and earth tones. There's earth tones in that thing. It's just tape. But there's earth tones back here and some purples. I love the coloring in that. I did one of those pour paint jobs from that people do on YouTube, and they use silicone, which is a real nightmare around a painter. I hate the feel of silicone on my hands, but the only way to make all the cells in it is to have silicone in the paint, which I hate that. So I'll take a picture of this, and then I'll put it through my printer and make a couple decals, one for each side, and I'll put them on there. But I couldn't come up with a color that was going to go with that yellow. But I think, I see some fingerprints in it. So I figured I would go ahead and go live before I start wet sanding all this stuff and buffing it out. And that's a project within itself. So, okay. That's about all I got. So I'll be busy color sanding that stuff probably today. And getting it all ready. There we go. And RATMAN. I started with the color sanding with my little cup of soapy water. It had just a drop of dish soap in it. Put a little bit of water in, just a drop of dish soap running down the side. Then I hose the water in until it foams up a little bit. And then I fill it about 3/4 of the way. But yeah, that's the one I've been working on for a long time. I had it in orange about a year ago, and I didn't know which direction to go. And I've had it masked out with different striping. And I talked to my son. He said, how about doing a panel paint job with dipping it? And I said, I got one lined up. And I started masking it out, all the edges, and then all the tape was starting to lift up around the corners. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to just dip it and mess it up because I want that to turn out really tough. So it sat, and I started thinking about different stuff. And when I saw the one on American Graffiti 2, that it had that panel paint like this, and I was going to do that on this one, and because that's almost the type of car that it was on. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that on that one. So I went ahead and I I finished up this one here with the root beer since it was already orange and it was dry for a year. So I knew it's not going to wrinkle up. It's not going to do all the fun, exciting, fun things that paint does when it's too fresh. And yeah, so I went ahead and I did that on that one. And then the RATMAN decal that came with this particular model, the 68. I don't even, oh, there's a box. But that's the decal that came with that. And then I added a whole bunch of other decals then to really finish this one off. But I'm kind of excited how that one turned out. Didn't have any dust in it. The gas out didn't wrinkle it all up like this. This is going to need some color sanding. But and the sides are on this because the decals underneath, for some reason, they'll telegraph through and it'll be lumpy. So I do have to color sand the sides and buff them. I'm not going to do anything with the tops because they look perfect to me. So there's the stuff. I got to get back to sanding it while it's still fresh. Because if you wait at all, it'll be like trying to sand granite, and you can't sand granite. Okay, so I guess that's it. So I'll talk to, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment if you want to, if you have something to say. And even if you don't really have too much to say, I like the comments anyway. I try to answer them the best I can, but sometimes I can't think of the right thing to say on top of, what was said. So, but I do read them all. I do read everything, and then I'll put a heart on it. If you comment, it'll always have a heart on it, and it'll a lot of times it'll have a like too. I do both. I hear the cat's trying to get in, so they're gonna mess up the video. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.